So today we will do the mathematics practical, which belongs to the complex analysis. Okay, so in complex analysis, actually we have practicals for around 7 parts. We start with analytic functions. So we have practical for analytic function, construction of analytic function, harmonic function. Then we have the Cauchy's integral theorem applications, and then we have bilinear theorem. Okay, among this, today we are doing the practical for analytic functions, construction of analytic functions, and we'll do the Milne-Thomson method. That is a construction of analytic functions, and then we'll do a checking for analyticity of a function. Okay, these are the practicals which we will do today. So we'll just go through the theory part first before we go through the program. First, we start with the orthogonal surfaces. You have learned that the analytic function will have a real and imaginary part. The analytic function f of z will have a real and imaginary parts. And you have learned a theorem where you have to prove that the real and imaginary parts of an analytic function are orthogonal or not. Okay, so here we have 5 questions. W is equal to sin z, W is equal to z e raised to z, W is equal to cos hz, W is equal to x cube minus 3xy square plus I into 3x square y minus y cube, and W is equal to e raised to minus y cos x plus I sin x. So before we move into the program, we will check how we check whether each analytic function's real and imaginary parts are orthogonal or not. Okay, I've taken the first question. W is equal to sin z. So first what we have to do is we will have to find the real and imaginary parts of sin z. Okay, so the first thing is put z in the Cartesian form. Z is equal to x plus iy. Then you go for sin a plus b formula, sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. And then you have learned the result how to convert this trigonometric function to hyperbolic function so as to get rid of I. Okay, so cos iy is equal to cos hy and sin iy is equal to I sin hy. I comes out of the trigonometric function, and then you will get the hyperbolic function. So you will get the real part and the imaginary part separately. So you will get u value as sin x cos hy and v as cos x sin hy. Okay, and we have done all this. So now what you do is you will take the partial derivative of u with respect to x. How we'll take the partial derivative of u with respect to x? We will keep y constant and we'll differentiate only sin x. So cos x, cos hy. And then we'll take the partial derivative of u with respect to y, which is sin x, sin hy. Similarly, we will find the partial derivatives of v with respect to x and y. Okay, with respect to x, we'll keep our y constant. So we'll get cos x derivative as minus sin x and sin hy. And when we differentiate v with respect to y partially, we will keep cos x as a constant and derivative of hyperbolic functions. Derivative of hyperbolic functions sin hy and cos hy gives you positive derivatives. Remember that. Derivative of sin hy is cos hy and derivative of cos hy is sin hy. So partial derivative of v with respect to y will be cos x Sin hy's derivative will be cos hy. Now what you do is, you will find dy by dx. How do we find dy by dx? Dy by dx at a particular point, or at the point of intersection. See, the two curves, u and v curves for the analytic function intersect at some point. So we are finding the tangent at that point, the angle between the tangents. Okay, and we will show that the product of the slope is equal to -1. That is how we prove that the two curves are orthogonal to each other. So we find dy by dx. For the first curve, dy by dx will be du by dx by du by dy. The partial derivative of u with respect to x by the partial derivative of u with respect to y. That will be dy by dx at the point of intersection for the first curve. Similarly, dv by dou v by dou x by dou v by dou y will be the partial derivative of v with respect to x by partial derivative of v with respect to y for the second curve, which gives you dy by dx at the point of intersection for the second curve. Now multiply these two. Put all the values are shown above, put all the values, and you can very well see here, it will all get cancelled and you will get -1. So when the product of the slope is equal to -1, the two curves are orthogonal to each other. Okay, so this is a question where we had the question in terms of Z. Now look at the fourth question. Fourth question is x cube minus 3xy square plus I times 3x square y minus y cube. So fourth question also, u and v are clearly given. So we find dou u by dou x, dou u by dou y. Again, dou v by dou x and dou v by dou y. We apply the same procedure. You can see we apply the same procedure and we can see that two get cancelled. We get -1. And again, it's orthogonal. So here again the curve FZ, the two curves are orthogonal to each other. So the analytic functions are orthogonal. So now we'll have a look at the program. All this we have done before. Okay, so the first question, sin Z. Okay, so how do we write the program? We cannot start with W because W contains sin Z. So we'll have to clearly say what is Z. So Z is x plus Iy. Then W is equal to sin Z. Then in that we can take out U, which is a real part of W, and V, which is an imaginary part of W. Okay, we have already seen how we separate sin Z into the real and imaginary part. Okay, we put Z is equal to x plus Iy, and then we apply sin A plus B formula, and then we take out the real part and the imaginary part, which we store it in U and V respectively. Then what is the next step? The next thing what we do is differentiate U with respect to X and differentiate U with respect to Y. So DIFF U with respect to, so differentiation of U with respect to X is UX. Differentiation of U with respect to Y is stored in UY. Similarly, when you differentiate V with respect to X, it is stored in VX. And differentiation of V with respect to Y is stored in VY. Then what do we do? We find dy by dx for the first curve. What will be that? That will be ux by uy. And y2, again, that also will be vx by vy. There are two minus signs, but when you cancel the minus sign, so you can neglect this minus sign. Okay, so now what we do is dy by dx for the first curve into dy by dx for the second curve. If it is equal to -1, then display the surfaces are orthogonal. else display the surfaces are not orthogonal. Okay, it is just like how we do manual, we write the program. We start with the Z, then we write W, then we take out the real and imaginary parts, differentiate all that real and imaginary parts with respect to X, with respect to Y, and then store it in UX, UY, VX, VY, and then we find dy by dx, that is m1 into m2 for the two curves, dy by dx for both the curves. Then we multiply that and our output should be -1. Then if the output is -1, the surfaces are orthogonal. Okay, so now we'll have a look at the result. So if it is true, you will get the surfaces are orthogonal. Second one also, the question is in terms of Z. W, there are questions which I have given you, which is in terms of Z, and there are questions which I have given you, which is in terms of X and Y alone. So it is not coming into picture. So only for those questions which is given in terms of Z, you will have to write the first command, Z is equal to X plus IY. We write Z is equal to X plus IY when our W is expressed in terms of Z. Okay, so first question, W is in terms of Z. So we had to explain what is Z first and then go into W. You can have a look at all these steps. We follow the same order. Okay, we cannot start from W because W is in terms of Z. So we have to start from Z. Z, W, then comes U and V, then comes all the four partial derivatives, then dy by dx for both, and then we multiply and then display the result. So this is how we do the first sum. Second question is W is equal to Z into e raised to Z. Again, we get the same program, we change only the W value. Everything else is same. W value we change, we get the surfaces are orthogonal. Third one is cos HZ. Okay, we'll get the same output. Surfaces are orthogonal. But now come to the fourth question. Look at the fourth question. Fourth question is slightly different. Even in the command, there will be slight difference. W is not expressed in terms of Z. W is expressed in terms of X and Y. Okay, W is expressed in terms of X and Y. So what we do is we don't write Z. We write only W. Then the steps are all as above. U, V, the four partial derivatives, then Y1 and Y2, and then the product of this is equal to -1, then display the surfaces are orthogonal or display the surfaces are not orthogonal. So that procedure is same. Now there is one small difference in this is when you go for the above program, here you will not get the output because the simplification is not carried out properly. So I have introduced rat sim. Okay, rat sim before y1 star y2 because I want the maxima to simplify it further. Without this rat sim, so you will have to observe. If you are not getting the output for these questions, you have to put rat sim. So we are making maxima simplify the simplify that dy by dx into dy by dx for the two curves more. If the simplification is not carried out properly, you will not get the surfaces to be orthogonal. Okay, so I have introduced rat sim. Without this rat sim, you will not get the surfaces orthogonal. We have done this manual. We have done this manual and we have got that the surfaces are orthogonal. So that is why I put this is equal to -1 and the surfaces are orthogonal. Again, the next question, again it is in terms of x and y. That also I have to put Ratsin. If I don't get the output, I have to put Ratsin. Okay, so this is how we do the programs.